So we got to bring 2 pairs of boots, essentially one waterproof boots for warmer times, high leg hunting boots, and then another Arctic winter boots. So I brought a pair of commercial waterproof boots for my high leg hunting boots, and then these were my handmade Arctic boots. So I used bark tan deerskin for this because I wanted them to be a little bit more water resistant than buckskin would be and a little bit less stretchy. So these worked incredibly for me. I like to have no heels so that my foot has natural motion, and I wanted something really flexible because the worst thing when you're out in a really cold environment trying to keep your feet warm is to have boots that are restrictive in any way because they're going to be cutting off your circulation. So what you really want is your feet to have plenty of room to move and to be flexing rather than stiff boots where the sole doesn't really have much give to them. And most anything that you can buy commercially tends to be really stiff. Besides mucklucks, but mucklucks are something that I can make myself. So that's essentially what these were. I made a liner out of felted wool, and then I sewed an upper to that that's fur. So at first I used just buffalo fur. So the original boots were buffalo hide all the way up to above my knee. But then what would happen is that I would be kneeling on the skin side of the buffalo, and that would soak through, that would get wet. And so I really wanted something that was going to be warm and wasn't going to let moisture through. And beaver fur is the perfect thing for that because beavers are aquatic, right? So their skin is going to tend to be a lot more waterproof versus buffalo that live on the plains, not aquatic. So their skin is not really good in wet climates. So the beaver fur on the outside of these boots were amazing. Also really critical is I wanted to have footwear that I could pull apart. I could pull the liners out. So that was super key. And then I'd never made a pair of boots like this, but in thinking about how to do the lacing, I decided that I didn't want laces up the front like you typically see in winter boots, like Sorels or Merrells or those kind of thing, because I thought that snow and ice would get packed into the front of them as I was trudging through snow. And so instead, I did a side lacing, so it was the side of the boot, not where all of the snow was going to accumulate. Now, one of the things that I always do with my homemade footwear is I put a print of some animal that I'm wanting to emulate and be close to in my time out there. So these boots I made with a bear paw print because I wanted to be warm and cozy and fat and well fed like a bear in its den during my time out there. So these are my bear paw boots.